What is going on, guys? It's your boy Paz. I'm sorry that I didn't get this done on stream. Scrims came up out of nowhere. I didn't know I was supposed to be ringing. I had to eat, and with moving in back home, it's the schedule's been a little bit different. But I bring to you guys the experimental card meta tier list of what I think's gonna happen if these experimental cards go through. All right, so I do want to start making these videos a little bit longer and a little bit more in depth to about the 15-minute range, because some people from my org said that they wanted to see this content drawn out a little bit. So we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to try to go a little bit more in depth and help you guys out understand my thinking process a little more, and then in turn I think that the meta lists are going to be a lot more accurate. So without further ado, let's get right into these experimental patch notes. Sorry. So right off the bat, we got Baptiste. His recovery time is reduced to 0.38 seconds, which I'm pretty sure is what it was before, but his damage goes down. So overall, it seems like he's not doing as much damage, but you're shooting faster, so over time you're doing more damage, if that makes sense. What this means to me mostly is that you're not getting as much shield damage, which is good for a support. And his secondary fire, his healing increased, but his healing recovery increased, but his healing also increased. So that's interesting. I think what they're trying to do is to make it easier to have 2 primary fire shots and then 1 grenade shot, and the grenade shot has more impact. So overall, what it seems like they're doing is they're making him more skilled to get the max value and really min-maxing out of it, because you have to hit more shots with primary fire to get more damage, and to get more healing because of that damage you have to hit those heal grenades consistently. And most importantly, the amplification matrix width is now going up to 9 meters. So I don't know if you've seen the videos around, but I think that's bigger than a Rein shield. I think that's bigger than a Rein shield. Well, I'll probably look up a clip and try to put that in so we can actually see what it looks like. But that's with the combination of the 12% decrease in his ultimate, like overall, like what you need, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. Another big one that I didn't think was going to be that big, but actually does kind of change the meta a little bit, is Brigitte's health goes up to 175 plus all that armor. She's definitely back to being a little bit more tankier. I don't know how much that's really going to change anything. The McCree, though, having him base health go to 225, it changes his uptime a little bit, and it makes him a lot better against dive because he can sustain a lot better. And when Brig's also coming back, she can also sustain a lot better to the dive. I think it's actually gonna be a lot more potent than people think, especially with the reload time reduced. He's overall gonna have a little bit more uptime, which is very nice. I would have loved to see his damage come back, but I just don't think they're ever gonna revert that to go back to the old rate of fire. The Mei changes are interesting. They seem more quality of life than they do Mei being better, but 15 ammo per second, that does actually increase her uptime, so that's another interesting thing. I think she goes up a little bit and she's a little bit more potent. Symmetra, increased shields from 100 to 125. I think that makes her a little bit more survivable in like other comps, but I still think she's pretty niche. The days of double shield are over, and I don't see her coming back because she was really good to farm off shields, but she also don't have enough health anymore to really be very potent. I think she'll be very good on Lijiang still. And with Widowmaker, the base health reducing from 200 to 175 is good, but I still don't think she's diveable because grapple hook. But we'll get into that a little bit deeper, because now we're gonna start the meta tier list. Another comment I got from Lopple was to separate the characters by tank, DPS, and support, and not intermix the two. So I know before I tried to say, oh, maybe this character gets more value than this, but what we're going to do is farthest on the left, we're going to have tanks, the middle is going to be DPS, and all the way on the right is support. Each one of those are still going to be treated as if they were the only things on the tier list. So all the way on the right would be the weakest in that tier, all the way to the left is the most potent of that tier. That's our new rules of going into it. Now that we are all on the same page, we're going to get right into it. So I want to try to then also, if we're doing that, try to have every character kind of in a specific tier, so that every every single type of character has a D tier. Now that doesn't necessarily mean they get no value or they're not good, just that every single character or every single category has sort of that economy, I guess. I don't really know what I'm trying to say here. Saying that, right off the bat, I put Orisa D tier. She's not bad. She's still pretty good, but in comparison to other tanks, I don't think she's as good. Now this is obviously a take that some people actually were arguing with me about, and I do agree with some of the points. Like, she is decent in some scenarios, but compared to other tanks, not so much. I put D.Va actually right now S tier. I put D.Va S tier. I'm gonna explain everything with comps after I put all the tanks together here, because I just think that's gonna help everyone visualize what I'm trying to say a little bit better with my predictions. And the prediction I have today is a little bit of a hot take, so I'm not actually sure if it's really gonna be good. I'm trying to think if I have any C tier tanks, because to be honest, I really don't. All these other tanks right now seem kind of decent. I want to put Ryan A tier, and I also want to put Monkey B tier or A tier, low A tier. Let's see here. I put Zarya B tier. I think she's pretty solid. Yeah, I feel solid about that. I'm gonna put Hog C. I'm gonna put Hog C tier, Sigma low B tier, and I'm missing a tank. I'm missing Ball. I'm gonna put Ball high B tier. I'm gonna switch the Zarya and the Monkey. I think that's good. We could probably bump Sig down just so it's a little more even. Okay, here's my reasoning, guys. If the experimental card goes through, back in March when I was on Tephra, the meta was the Rein, D.Va, Mei, Kree, Ana, Brig. Now that might have been due to hero bans now that I'm thinking about it, but that comp was still really strong. And with Kree having a health boost, Brig having a health boost, Mei having quality of life changes, those are three of the big characters that came from that comp, and I think that makes them very much potent against like the very hard just rush brawl, since the uptime's a little better. Now that's all just a really hot take, to say the least. That's a really hot take, and I'm basing this entire meta list off of that. Now I'm still thinking that like Sig Hog and like D.Va Ball, Monkey D.Va, like they're still really good comps, and that's why I don't really like the way I'm putting this, because they're all good. I just don't know which comp's gonna be like the best of the best. But I do think that in theory, well, if it was that hero bans, it would definitely be a lot better, but I'm not really sure yet. I think that's pretty solid to say this. Whatever you guys think is coming next, just let me know in the comments below. We have not started scrimming experimental yet, so I really couldn't tell you. So next we can go into damage. All right. Who do I start with? Who's the worst? Bastion, pretty bad. I'm looking at some of these characters, and like I don't see any character that's gonna be really, really weak. Yeah, I don't see it. Okay, so let's start with Doom. Here's the thing. Before, I think we put Doom in C or D tier. I think we put Doom low B tier now, because Doom is really good into Brawl. I don't think he could come back into meta, but with the Kree getting buffed and just having better like general survivability, I don't think Doom's gonna be like super great. But this is all, again, what I said, like this is all due to experimental cards, so you really never can tell for sure. Echo, I'm also gonna... Is Spam still gonna be good? With Kree coming in and D.Va, I don't think so. With people like being better at Brawl, I just don't think it's gonna be as good. I think I put B tier, like very high B tier Echo, because like she's still really good. She's really strong. I don't think Spam comps are really necessarily gonna go away until we figure out if this Brawl comp is really, really strong. So I just want to like have that kind of idea in the back of my head. Genji. I don't think he's ever like solid. Like why run Genji if you can just run McCree? See, I don't get that. He's still like solid if you're really good, and Nanoblade can like work in ladder at lower ranks. But at the highest rank, I just don't think Genji gets enough value. There needs to be something with Genji that they change, because just with so many other characters in this game, they're either like really, really good when they're in their meta, or they're just dog meat. And I don't want them to be dog meat. I want a lot of characters to be solid, but that's just how it is. Okay, moving on. Junkrat, still situational. Very good on Lijiang. But I don't think he's good enough anymore. Projectile's in a really shitty spot. And it's going to pretty much stay that way, to be honest. Symmetra, I'm also going to put top. I'm going to put her top C tier, because with her shield changes, like, she might be a little bit better, but she's still too squishy. She still has so much shield that I just don't like. I still think she's good in her niche situation. She's actually better now in her niche situations, but I don't think it's good enough to make her like B tier. Anything solid. Hanzo, I'm putting bottom C tier. Well, actually, let's get back to that. I'm gonna look at all the snipers at once before we go into that. Kree, I'm gonna put top A tier, because his survivability is really good, and if Brawl comes back, he's going to be really strong with that Brawl comp I was talking about. And he's a lot better against just spam and dive. He has a lot more survivability. I think it's going to make a big change, because that 25 health can make actually a really big deal, especially if Briggs now being starting into play. Okay, I'm trying to think here. I honestly, I need to have something in S tier. So I don't think Mei is going to be good enough to be S tier. I think she's going to be bottom A tier. I don't think she's ever going to be back in the way that she was before. So that's just one thing I'm thinking here. Let's see here. Pharah, I'm going to put her top C tier only because Echo beats her, and actually, I'm going to put her above Junk. Pharmacy teams are always going to exist. I just never think they're good, because Echo right now is just better. You can just run Echo and run it, like, just destroy. Reaper, I'm going to put bottom A tier or top B tier. Bottom A tier, I think, is good, because Reaper Brawls probably will still be run. Actually, no, I'm going to put him next to Doom, because if he ever gets run, I think he's going to get run with a Doom or a Sombra. Let's put him above everyone else, because he's still good with Brawl. I just don't know if it's going to be really, really strong, because D.Va and just the increased survivability from everything is just going to be really, really good and strong against him. Soldier, I'm gonna put him next to the Spam, because maybe Spam hasn't left and I'm just spewing some weird stuff, but I'm just gonna keep him there. Sombra I'm putting next to Reaper, because Sombra's really strong with Brawl comps and 6-man. I don't think she's as good anymore. As this is all saying comparatively to the other Brawl. Like, I could be completely wrong about that. Torb. Torb's really good, just in ladder, but I don't think he's good enough in team play. Unless you're running some weird cheese stuff, and to the point where he's C tier. I could say he's pretty confidently C tier. He's not a bad character in ranked, but in the discussion of if this comp is going to be meta again, this comp up here, I don't think he's going to be as strong comparatively to other characters. Tracer, I'm going to put bottom. Nah, going to put her right next to or below Soldier, because she synergizes well with the Echo, and if that comp doesn't leave, like, they're golden. And now we're left with the snipers. Okay. Here's the thing, right? Widow still can't get dove because of grapple. Her mobility is still too high. Whereas if you were dove on before and you didn't have grapple, you were already gonna die. What this sort of unlocks is that Kree can kind of duel her a little better, I guess, with a damage boost, which might be what they're going for. But at the end of the day, she's still extremely strong. Bottom 18, like, she might not be run in the metacomps, but she's still going to be strong. I think she needs to be 150. Or maybe 150 with, like, shield. But it wouldn't make sense for her to have shield. So, that's my point of view. I still think she's always going to be strong. I don't know with her in terms of a team aspect thing. But now that Widow's been nerfed a little bit, I think Hanzo, instead of being like hard, like bad, I think that Hanzo comes back with double sniper a little bit and he comes a little bit more potent. But Ashe, I'm going to put bottom B tier. Because she's not going to be good against... Well, I'm going to put her above the Doom at least. Actually, never mind, because I'm saying that if spam stays. If the spam stuff stays, then Ashe is really good. If it doesn't, then she's not as good. Here's the thing. With this list, it kind of makes me move things around a little bit. So who's better? Mei's always going to be better. But that's all. But that's saying that Mei's going to be like a good DPS. I don't think she's going to be nearly as potent as she was before. And I really don't feel like you could put a DPS in S tier. But for the sake of balancing out the list, I'm going to move it to this. Because I still think you could run a hard brawl if you run it really well. But this is just for the sake of balancing the list so it looks a little better. I think that this is like I think this might be a really good comp. I'm probably wrong, to be honest. Because I don't think I've ever been like 100% right. I've been right about ideas of comps that are going to come back. I haven't been right about specific characters all the time. But I still think this is going to be pretty strong. And that it'll be runnable in ladder if there's Mei 1 tricks that want to come back. However, that leads us to one last category, and it is supports. What support is going to be D tier? Because honestly, I'm looking at this and I don't see a support that's bad. I really don't. Okay. So here's my dilemma. With these new buffs, specifically with Brig and Bap, I think that you could argue that you could swap out Ana. Instead of Ana here, I think you can run Brig Bap. I think Brig Bap is the new Brawl support duo. Because Bap now gets a crap ton more value trying to get out of the demonetization, even though I don't even have 1,000 subs. Actually, that leads me to believe something. Let me remind you that 55% of my viewers are not subscribed. What are you doing? You right there. Subscribe now. Subscribe. Come on. It's free. You can support me. I'm doing this every week. We can subscribe right now. Anyways, getting right back into it. Where were we? Bap Brig being very potent. I think that's the next step for the meta. But that can't be 100% true either. With me saying that, if I am saying that Bap Brig is the new meta, I have to stay consistent and say that Brig is A tier. Because right now, even Zen Brig is being run. No matter what, she's still going to be pretty strong. Not in terms of like she's broken. I think she's finally in a good state. And I think these health buffs are going to give her just enough to fit right there snug in like top meta. So she's still going to be really strong in my opinion. That leaves us with these supports. I think I'm going to... Oh, not there. I think I'm going to put Ana below Brig only because maybe Ana will be more value than Bap. maybe if they don't go through. Ana's still really strong with the Rein Diva as we've seen before. It's just that before, BAP also didn't have, like in March, BAP also didn't have faster fire rate, more healing, and an ultimate that is wider now with less ult charge, to the point where you don't even need to be good at swinging the corner with your BAP ult. So I think with all those changes, BAP kind of beats it out and can get more value easier. That doesn't mean Ana can't be run. I'm gonna put Lucio top of B tier only why is Lucio run right now in Brawl, right? I'm gonna put him B tier for now, but I might move him. I'm actually gonna put Zen and Mercy. I'm gonna put Mercy C tier only because she only works with spam, because I have to put something D tier. Oh, this is hard because all these supports aren't bad, because all these characters kind of worked really well. See, this is the point where it's like I don't feel safe putting anything D tier because none of the supports are D tier, but I have to for the content. Moira's most definitely not D tier. I'm gonna take a hot take and put Lucio D tier. Moira below Zen. With the way that I think the Brawl is going, and to the point where it's not a 6-man Brawl thing, I think I like Moira and Lucio where they are. Because then they're like, if they're not running that comp, they're nothing. If it goes to the slower Brawl, they're nothing. However, if this experimental doesn't change anything, I say they're solid high B tier, low A tier. The same thing is with the Zen and Mercy. I think they're high A tier, low B tier, if not S tier. And then I think that the Brig, Ana, and BAP go all the way down. So this is like a pure gamble right now. This is pure gamble. But yeah, I think this is pretty solid. I hope that you guys liked my new format. I haven't really been checking the time that I've been recording, so I hope this isn't too long over 15 or not 15 minutes enough. I think it is probably 20 minutes. Well, I really appreciate everyone for watching this video. If you watched through this whole video, this entire video to this point, I want you to comment below your favorite ice cream flavor and I will reply, okay? If you made it to this point. But until next time, guys, I'm going to be doing these Monday meta reviews every week. If there is something to talk about, if there's nothing new or I didn't gain any insight, I usually just put a highlight video up. Also, I'm trying to get pugs for Fridays, so if you want to join my Discord server or DM me anything, let me know. I'm going to try to get more of that content in here because I think that's going to be a little more fun. I'm going to try to get some of my semi-pro friends to play, so it's like more inclusive and we bring back some of that 2017 2018 Overwatch feel. But yeah, please like, subscribe, and join the Discord. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Twitch at 4 p.m. But until next time, guys, I gotta peace out and pass out. See you in the next one. Peace.